Good morning. This is your crypto a day morning. Today's date, Saturday, 12th of January, 2018. All bets, trades of the like within each his own risk and, well, their own reward as well. Within Bitcoin, we've had the day off, or not the day off. Yeah, I guess you can call that. It's a pause day. The previous day, or it just stayed sideways within the decline that was above the 18 average of highs, are trying to get above it now. I guess you could say it's trying to get below it. Meanwhile, staying within the established support level of around 35 and 3/4 as the low. Resistance well established it at 41 and a third. Single hour time frame. And putting the Fibonacci lines in, put in a while back, price action resisted on here. Pretty much the exact number of a hair below 3,700. But since the event of this decline has had a much long sideways price consolidation, we had this interesting period in here. Don't know, and I don't know if this was just Coinbase or if this was Bitcoin in itself. But that was just some interesting selling followed by some interesting buying. Let's just quickly take a look at some other exchanges. First off, the Coinbase or the Bitstamp, it's pretty much the same. And Bitfinex. So that was within the Bitcoin crossing board. Every one of the exchanges should have the similar event, as it had an interesting sell, interesting buy. But really, to me, it's just continuing its same old. Let's take a look next at Ethereum Classic on the single hour time frame. And amongst such, when we take a look at pattern analysis, you can see we had this decline, that it managed to establish this level of resistance. So as it was traveling in here, by looking at this chart, one could say, you know what, this has got the potential. Nothing yet where you want to be aggressively low, and just by looking at such, but potential. Then we get to the 18 average, spent a few days, a few periods, hours, consolidating in here. So therefore, if you're looking for pattern analysis, those who thought in here, any of those hours, you know what, I think this is going to go off, and, well, stops, any type of stops did not get triggered. And selling profit was most certainly in play. Now it's correcting within this sense of the play. Of course, if you're playing on the short breakout in here, 1256, you're able to get a gain of about 3%. But that's what you got on the single hour time frame based on its volatility. We take a look at this on a longer term time frame. And we'll do so with the daily as it had the decline. Establish this level of resistance in here, but the correctionary move, obviously not passing, at least it doesn't look like it. We have this established support back to now the newly declining. So therefore, if it's unable to hold what it really needs to in this area, then we're going to be looking for, most likely, at least a test of this previous low area. If it's able to get and hold this 18, get it back to flat and start to rise again, then this will tell me that it's went through a correctionary mode, and because of such, it looks like it's exhausted correction that is, and we'd be ready for a possible leg higher. And onto a smaller traded coin, that of LITECOIN, AID, which today managed to come back to the multiple time hit previous resistance. It's back to where it is. I guess you'd say as long as it holds this 18 average band, but if it keeps going up and below this, that's all fine with me. Single hour time frame. There's the fast little move that took place, and going through the trades on this, and well, the current price is pretty much where I got in at around 640. As after every time I buy or sell, the blue line represents what I'm up or down on the portfolio since the entry point. The orange line, what the market would be had you done nothing from the open, which meant from the last sale in here, I would have been up close to 30%, but above where this would have been at 10. This line noticeably higher than this. This line in here pretty much the same, as I sold at around the same pivot point. And this move here is just its price correction from the high. No trade since then. So therefore, this is like basis points higher from where I opened in at. So I bought below 640 and up 23%. And the market really hasn't done anything as of yet since I got in. As when I was looking at this, this is the move in here that I looked at and figured, oh my goodness, I got to take advantage of some of these moves. As we can see, even beforehand, we had this in here, which looked nice. This looks even nicer. Some of this in here. Even a little bit of this could get some small profits as well. So I thought, yep, this is something I'd want to get into. And with the market, again, just hanging in there doing really nothing, I got a gain over 20% thus far. Quickly taking a look at Verge next, which on the daily term had the move yesterday, now back down to the newly rising 18, or the choppily rising 18. I guess more than anything on its single hour term time frame. Gain leg 1 higher, leg 2 higher, and it's exhausted itself since that point. Major support has been established in here after, really there's been 2 legs lower, 1 and then 2. Will there be a third down to this previous level? Well, that's exactly what I would think. That's the key support, roughly around 181. If it goes there, if it can hold and stay above a newly rising or above an 18 like this for a while, and it could just go off and it's ready. But if it goes up, maybe back down, do something in the area of, let me just show an example of such. Maybe it's able to get above here. And then, of course, the 18 would start to, not this rate of ascent, start to rise. And just do something to give yourself a pattern. Then you would see that there's a good chance that not only could it make it to the previous high, but could make a new leg up. Now quickly going over Litecoin and Ethereum, but first with Ethereum. As it came right down to this line that I put in even before it hit, because in the single hour time frame, I put it down as it was going in here, and I said probably have another at least 1 leg lower, which it has had. I'm not going to draw it in, but we've got support lines that you can draw amongst this level. Resistance well established in the area of such. It's almost at the point now where it's got to make its decision soon. Sure, we could have a further correction through time, but now that it's had this Fibonacci hit, it's stabled in there for a while, it could get some good gains if it's able to get higher. But now that it's at an area where I figured would stop going down, and it's done that, if there's weakness, then I'd be looking for legs lower at that point and no longer having the bias of thinking, no, it shouldn't go down much anytime in the near soon. I might be thinking the opposite, that it would. But for now, it's got to show weakness in the 18, and it's not doing that as of yet. Whereas Litecoin is showing weakness on its 18 right now after it's had its decline from the 10 handle. Now down to 877, giving back 12%. So from the move, now back down to the 18 average of lows, nearing the area for where it came from, or where I'd like to see it hold, which I guess it's the exact number. It's the low was 868. We got a high here at 865. So pretty close. What's this high here? 862. I'm looking at the wrong number. 866. So yeah, close to the upper area for where it came from, but the general area, 832, 815. This point in here, still at the 18 lows. If it starts rallying from here, again, I got to see it get above the 18 highs. And even though it's at such, I don't mind it going a little bit lower, filling a little bit of this empty space. 61.8% is always going to be that big level. And that's roughly at around the 785 handle. That's the rough area. Not holding that really shows that it had a good shot, all the inverted head and shoulder stuff. And if it just has one break and fails on a situation like that, then you're most certainly looking at a very decent leg lower from the previous low in at 690-ish as the possibility for such. Weekly chart, it's gotten above the 18 average on the 18, barely starting to rise. So the 18 lows in here, but 754, but it's rising as well. And therefore, just that little attempt could spark what would be a decent leg lower. But as this thing goes, we've seen before, like was the case in November of 2017, December, big moves. This was a case where Coinbase added that Litecoin, and it had a monstrous move. This in here was a pretty big move. So if it's ever ready to do so, it wouldn't be a surprise that on any given period of 7, 9, 10, 12 days to hear about this market even doubling against the price of Bitcoin. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.